The eye performs rotary movements around a center of rotation located 13.5 mm behind the apex of the cornea. The eyeball can rotate around one of three axes: the anteroposterior, y-axis, the vertical, z-axis, and the horizontal, x-axis. Listing's plane is a plane passes through the center of rotation and the equator of the globe. The vertical and the horizontal axes of rotation lie in Listing's plane. Rotations around the vertical axis are called adduction and abduction. Rotations around the horizontal axis are termed elevation and depression. Rotations around the anteroposterior axis are known as excycloduction and incycloduction. The primary position is assumed by the eye when one is looking straight ahead with body and head erect. The adducted, abducted, elevated, or depressed positions of the globe are designated as secondary positions. The oblique positions of the eye are termed tertiary positions. Contraction of one of the horizontal rectus muscles produces a pure rotation around the vertical axis. The lateral rectus muscle produces abduction, and the medial rectus muscle produces adduction. When the eye is in primary position, the actions of superior rectus muscle are elevation, adduction and incycloduction. If the globe is abducted 23 degrees, its axis of rotation approaches the x-axis. At that moment the superior rectus muscle becomes a pure elevator. If the globe is adducted 67 degrees, the superior rectus would produce pure incycloduction. When the eye is in primary position, the actions of inferior rectus muscle are depression, adduction and excycloduction. If the globe is abducted 23 degrees, its axis of rotation approaches the x-axis. At that moment the inferior rectus muscle becomes a pure depressor. If the globe is adducted 67 degrees, the inferior rectus would produce pure excycloduction. In primary position the superior oblique muscle causes incycloduction and depression of the eye, and also acts as an abductor. When the globe is adducted 54 degrees, the superior oblique muscle acts as a pure depressor. When the globe is abducted 36 degrees, the superior oblique muscle would produce pure incycloduction. In primary position the inferior oblique muscle causes excycloduction and elevation of the eye and also acts as an abductor. When the globe is adducted 54 degrees, the inferior oblique muscle acts as a pure elevator. When the globe is abducted 36 degrees, the inferior oblique muscle would produce pure excycloduction. Donders and Listing's laws. Each one of the extraocular muscle is regarded as an independent mover. Every contraction of a muscle brings a movement. The mover muscle which is producing that movement is called the agonist. A movement in the direction opposite that produced by the agonist is caused by its antagonist. Thus, the medial rectus muscle and the lateral rectus are antagonists. Two muscles moving an eye in the same direction are synergists. For example, the superior oblique muscle and the inferior rectus muscle are both depressors of the eye. Thus, they are synergists. Synergistic muscles in the two eyes that cause the two eyes to move in the same direction are known as yoke muscles. Thus, the right medial rectus and the left lateral rectus muscles cause leverversion of the eyes. They are yoke muscles. Sherrington's law of reciprocal innervation stated, whenever an agonist receives an impulse to contract, an equivalent inhibitory impulse is sent to its antagonist to relax. Herring's law of equal innervation stated, whenever an impulse for the performance of an eye movement is sent out, corresponding muscles of each eye receive equal innervations to contract or relax.